Routines can be comforting, but they can also be limiting. They can stop us from trying, hinder our personal growth, and cause us to live an unhappy life. How to break the habit. First, awareness. The first step is to become aware of the habits that are driving your behavior. What behaviors are automatic and no longer serve you? What habits are preventing you from achieving your goals? Once you become aware of them, you can begin to replace them with more positive habits. Second, set clear goals. Know what you want to change and why. Clear and motivating goals will help you stay focused and persistent. Third, create a supportive environment. Your environment can greatly influence your habits. Surround yourself with people and things that support your goals. Fourth, be patient and persistent. Changing habits is not easy and will not happen overnight. Be patient with yourself and persevere with the process. Finally, practice self-control. Learn to control yourself and not let bad habits return. Practical examples. If you have a habit of snacking when stressed, replace it with drinking water or going for a walk. If you often mindlessly scroll through social networks, set specific times to use social networks or set time limits. If you have a habit of procrastinating, break your work into smaller tasks and set a specific deadline for each task. If you often feel stressed and anxious, practice relaxation techniques such as meditation, deep breathing, or yoga. Bottom line, breaking habits is an ongoing process and requires effort and commitment, but the reward is well worth it. By replacing bad habits with positive ones, you can live a happier, healthier, and more fulfilling life. Remember, you have control over your life and can change anything you want. Start with small changes and gradually build positive habits to achieve your goals. If you found this video helpful, please register and leave a comment. See you next video. Have you ever heard the proverb, know yourself in 100 battles, 100 wins? How do we in this digital age understand ourselves in terms of our personality and, more importantly, our potential? This is a core, foundational question for anyone who wants to improve themselves. Unfortunately, many of us don't think to ask profound questions to better understand ourselves. Most of the time, we need a big event to shock us, forcing us to question ourselves. The same thing happened to me, but it took me a long time to reflect on those events, or I could write about understanding myself. In this video, my goal is to help you avoid hitting the wall, seizing this opportunity to delve into the complexity of your mind and its limitless possibility. I will guide you through the most practical and useful techniques of Stoicism, helping you develop self-awareness and the ability to deal with all of life's challenges. If you are on a journey towards personal growth, development, and deep self-discovery, stay with us until the end. Imagine a life where you not only understand your personality, but also realize and maximize your potential. You will learn transformative Stoic techniques to truly understand yourself. Don't miss the opportunity to discover yourself and get closer to your goal of living a meaningful and fulfilling life. Let's start this journey now. If you're ready to find out who you are and how you can develop your full potential, follow along and join us in discovering yourself through these inspiring and practical techniques. At the end of the video, I leave you with 5 quotes from Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius. I hope these quotes serve as a weapon to carry with you on your path to success. Let's get started. Dear friend, before we dig deeper into how to know ourselves, we will look at why this question arises. Why do we need to know who we are, and how will this benefit us? Compare yourself to a car that's running on the road and it looks like it's working the way it should. At least to us, it will sound like that. But to the ears of an experienced mechanic, it may need adjusting. We should become our own mechanics. And like the car listener, we need to listen to ourselves. We have to check in with ourselves to make sure we are operating at full capacity. Furthermore, to ensure that we are not pretending to be a sports car when in fact we are a convertible. First, ask yourself what kind of person you want to become. Once you have decided this, act on it in everything you do. Epictetus, Discourses, Book 3, Chapter 23.1. We must train our senses and turn them inward instead of letting them focus on the outside world. Once we find our true self, we will realize that the world around us will change. Which senses are we talking about here? We want to focus on our thoughts, opinions, perceptions, and emotions. By evaluating how they function in different situations, we can begin to find our true self. While we drift through the calm waters, everything seems fine. But when we encounter rapids, we can see what we are made of. If we are confident in who we are, we can keep the raft afloat and remain at peace. There is no backing down. From the why we must know ourselves, we now turn to the how. Once we have identified who we are, or should be, we can begin to refine. This process will be directed towards our nature. The Stoics understood the importance of nature, as we can see from this quote from Marcus Aurelius. And why is it so difficult when everything is against you? If it is imposed by nature, accept it happily and stop fighting it. And if not, find out what your nature requires and work towards that, even if it doesn't bring you glory. None of us is forbidden from pursuing our own interests. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations 11:16. Here he talks about the nature that surrounds us and our individual nature. To find our core, personal nature, we need deep self-inquiry. A process that can be scary, as it can reveal things we don't want to face. However, if we want to live a good life, we need to strive for virtue. In this case, we need to show courage, one of the cardinal virtues. There is no backing down. We need to be honest and true to ourselves. What are our weaknesses and what are our strengths? How do we treat people and situations, and how do we want to act? We can rely on our own steadfastness. Problem that we can be confused about who we are supposed to be is because society has set its parameters. From childhood, we have examples and messages around us that show us what a good life is like. Depending on where we grew up, there may be differences in the details, but overall, there are a lot of similarities. We need to be successful, own a house, car, have a family, a well-paying job, and a fancy title. This is a difficult pattern to break. And many of us only realize that this is not our path once we are already on the right track. That's when the wall hit us. By then, we find ourselves floundering on a safety net. All these external things are there to give us comfort and peace of mind. However, for some people, there is no other choice. That net needs to go away. As we see its true nature, it is built on other people's dreams and will not catch us when we fall. We need to focus on placing the next foot on the rope without looking at the net. With each step, we will learn to accept ourselves. We need to place it with confidence, honesty, and by being true to ourselves. What we will notice is that the rope itself is not too far from the ground. We can pick ourselves up if we miss a step, and those around us who are going in the same direction can lend us a shoulder or an arm if we need it. But in general, we can rely on our own position in life. Stand up straight, not stand up straight. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations 3.5. Knowing yourself will lead to true self. The way to know yourself then boils down to having the courage to be who you really want to be. Assess your strengths and weaknesses and find ways to improve them or use them better. Details about work, money, or assets are not important at this stage. We need to understand the values by which we want to live. As a coach, you can create a philosophy of life. That way you can find tools to help you. In Stoicism, the goal is to live a peaceful life by pursuing virtue. 4 virtues are wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. Figuring out what your values are and what your own life philosophy might be requires a lot of listening. You can choose to journal, meditate, or some activity that brings you peace of mind. Start by being quiet and listening to yourself. Our true self. Once you have a better understanding of yourself, we need to use that information to remove some of the obstacles. First obstacle is your ego. Knowing who you are is a humbling process. Our role in society may not be as big as we think. We must play our part and fulfill our duty when it comes to us. Accepting your true nature is a big step. Along with this process, we need to remember to be kind to ourselves. Living a good and fulfilling life is a difficult task. Let's focus on this first. Our ego often causes pain and suffering. It tends to have a different view of who we are. Next, I want you to slow down and start by observing yourself, as if you were observing a stranger. Have you ever wondered how differently we might act if we stepped outside of ourselves and observed our actions and reactions as if we were someone else? This idea lies at the core of a powerful Stoic technique. observing ourselves with the curiosity associated with a stranger, in which we often become entangled in a web of emotions and prejudices, leading to wishful thinking about who we are. Let's analyze. Imagine you are watching a movie where you are the main character. True growth begins with accepting every aspect of yourself, the good, bad, and even the ugly. It is about fully accepting yourself without denying or overemphasizing the negative side of Stoicism. Not just looking at the positive side, but looking at the real side. It teaches us how to accept ourselves as a whole, when you accept your flaws and don't give up on improving. You are starting from honesty, and with honesty, you will have the power to change. As Marcus Aurelius once wisely said, accept what fate binds you to, and love those who fate brings you together. But do so with all your heart. This acceptance is the foundation of true transformation. Try writing down your strengths and weaknesses. Don't shy away from truths that make you uncomfortable. Look at this list not as a judgment, but as a map. Your strengths are tools, weaknesses, areas for growth. Instead of blaming yourself for the ugly parts, ask yourself, how can I thrive here? Self-acceptance does not mean stagnation. That means empowering yourself to grow from a place of understanding and compassion. Remember that every part of you has a role to play in your journey. By embracing every aspect of who you are, you will set the stage for true self-improvement, not just becoming someone else. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. How to know yourself. I leave you these quotes so you can think with them every day. I think it will help you on your path to personal development. Saving and remembering a quote is a weapon in your journey through life. 1. First know who you are and then make up yourself accordingly. Epictetus. 2. The only person you are destined to be is the person you choose to be. 3. We should not try to make events fit our desires, but rather adapt our desires to events. Epictetus. Look inside. Inside is the source of good, and it will always overflow if you want to dig deep. Marcus Aurelius. 5. Ask yourself, are you in control of your mind? Realize this and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. These quotes not only help us become more aware of ourselves, but also encourage self-awareness and self-improvement in our journey of self-knowledge. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Maybe this is not the beginning of all wisdom, but it is certainly a good start for us. Is yourself. Ask yourself these questions. Who am I and who do I want to become? Think about your values. Trust your instincts and feelings. Then be strong and courageous in pursuing this life. And don't forget to be kind to yourself. Getting to know yourself is the most exciting journey you will take. You might as well enjoy it. If you find this video useful, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of my videos. And please spread this video to make the world a better place. I would love to take a moment to express my profound gratitude to all of you for your amazing support and encouragement. Your continuous help makes me feel truly grateful and motivates me every day. I cannot express how important the support you have given me is, and it has helped me overcome many difficulties. I am so appreciative and grateful that you have always been loyal and wonderful viewers. Thank you all for always being by my side and cheering me on endlessly.